No.
I mean the headphones or whatever.
What super drinker Coke?
That bottle, you know what that bottle is?
All right, everyone, we are live. It is episode 2 of Dad's Drinking Bourbon Live. We did this before. We're doing this again. My name is John Edwards, and I am with Zeke Baker. Together, we make the Dad's Drinking Bourbon. We do a podcast. It's about bourbon. It's called Dad's Drinking Bourbon, but this is not like our podcast. We're here to have a little fun, aren't we, Zeke?
Yeah, that's the goal. We all need it at this point. That's for sure.
Yeah, and because we're moving to video instead of audio, people want us to look a little bit better. We've asked our friends at Dry Duck to send us some nicer clothes, and that's what they've done. So over at dryduck.com, they sent us, Zeke, I see you have a nice little boonie hat on.
Of course, I love this thing. It reminds me of being a kid.
Yeah, and are you also wearing your pullover from them?
Dang, Skippy, you can't see it.
I can see it. I can see it. I am rocking out a fishing shirt from Dry Duck. Want to thank the folks at Dry Duck for sponsoring this show. Go to www.dryduck.com and use code Bourbon15 for 15% off. And that is Bourbon15 for 15% off. Zeke, how are you tonight?
Can't complain. Long work week. Finally cutting loose a little bit and enjoying myself finally.
I see that you are, having a pour at Mike Hines' house. That background looks a little familiar behind me.
Yeah, there's a familiar background back there.
Good night, Mike.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that can't hear anything that is going on right now because but anyways, what's new?
I don't know. I mean, finally getting warmer weather, nicer weather. Hopefully, we'll all be able to enjoy summer as we all want to.
Got it. So this is a little bit of a different show from what we've done before. And because of that, what we're gonna do is have a little bit of fun, right? So we've asked some people on, they've never met you before, and that is Charlie and Andy Nelson from Nelson's Brier Distillery. They have actually never met you, Zeke, and the first time they are meeting you is virtually.
Well, I mean, it's better than nothing at all, right?
Yeah.
How are you guys? How are you, Charlie? How are you, Andy?
Pretty
Great.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, Friday night. Hey.
Yeah.
It is Friday night, and this is not the typical thing that you would be doing with us. Normally, we'd be talking about mash bills and finishes and all sorts of stuff that you guys are doing, and we're not going to be doing that today. We're actually going to be having a little bit of fun.
I like fun, and
God knows we could use some fun after hanging out with you for so long.
I do have to ask, what are you guys drinking tonight?
well, you go ahead, Andy. You go ahead, please.
All right. Well, I'm drinking an old bottle of Belmead Sherry Cask finish. Batch 217, bottle number 448. Just neat. In my Nelson's Brier Glencairn. Charlie.
What's Charlie drinking?
So, well, what I am drinking is a bridge to get me to my next drink. What I have been drinking is cocktails made with our Brier Tennessee whiskey from Margot. So I was planning on getting my birthday was like a month ago, and I wanted to get Margot to go in East Nashville for my birthday, and they closed down, and so they just opened back up for like takeout, and so I got that tonight, and they had like whiskey sours with the Brier Tennessee whiskey, so I've had a few of those, and then I had a Pacifico, and I'm about to just pour a
Charlie,
some Brier Tennessee whiskey.
You're not
It's funny
drinking
you say
only our
that.
own product?
basically something that we talked about a couple weeks ago. I busted out the peach cobbler from Southern Grist just to make sure that you guys saw that it exists and it actually is a real thing. So I'm actually not drinking bourbon tonight. I was going to reach for an old single barrel of Belle Meade, and it's right behind me. It's killing me that I can't go get it, but I'm not wearing any pants. So I'm not going to get up and go get it.
I think you should.
But are you wearing those?
I'm
Are
just
you wearing
wearing
those new house
shorts.
shoes though?
I'm not wearing any house shoes. I'm just in socks.
Ah.
I want to know what Zeke's drinking. Some Tasmanian whiskey?
No, the first thing I had was some old Saint Nick, and then I had hence the name. This is what I was told it was Reposado vodka. I don't know if that's legit or not. That's what I'm told it was. And then I just had some hazmat rum from a Happy Buddha rum.
Man.
All right.
Well,
Is that
guys,
having a
I went and
hazmat quarantine party?
Well, it's strong enough to kill anything. So after that, there's just nothing left to worry about.
What is that there, John?
This is
what barrel
the
number is
old. This is barrel. Oh, it's bottle 46. It's barrel 2957. It is the old Barrels and Brews.
Oh,
10 year
nice.
From a couple years ago. It's one of my favorites. Honestly, I love this bottle. I have one left, and I know that a lot of people in town are really bummed because they wish they had another bottle of that. And that whole run, there were picks that went to Elixir, Barrels and Brews, Radnor, Craft Brewed. I think the Wine Chap in West Nashville. Those are ones that I cherish, and I have all back over here because that's one of my favorite runs of all time of the stuff that you guys had.
Man, solid.
Yeah, the 9 and 10 years I think are the sweet spot for those.
Totally agree. I think that sometimes when you get MGP, I mean, it all goes into a whole thing, and this is not the gist of what we're actually talking about today, but Zeke and I have done a whole bunch of digging. We talked to Greg Metz a lot about it, and it's that cement building in Lawrenceburg that it ages things differently. And when you get a little bit over 12 years, I personally think it can get a little bit oaky. That those 9, 10, 11 year ones really hit the spot.
Have you ever been in one of those warehouses at MGP by chance?
No, that place is like Fort Knox.
It's insane. I mean, I think it's okay to say this, but like you walk in,
Charlie at Fort Knox, don't talk about it.
Actually, I don't know. I don't want to get killed.
No, I thought it was pretty open now because they're having picks and stuff up there, and folks can go on premise and pretty much have a decent amount of run of the mill from what I've understood of the folks that went up there.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know if this is still the case, but it used to be like you couldn't stay in their barrel warehouses for more than like 30 minutes at a time because like there's just so much alcohol in the air that you'll just like it'll overwhelm your body. And like seriously, like you walk in there and it's just like the fumes are
how
you don't even have to. Yeah, Andy, go ahead.
When you're cutting an onion, and it makes you cry, it's like you're walking into a wall of that, and you're just like a giant wall of it, except for it's alcohol, and your eyes start burning immediately because it's just like you're all of a sudden breathing in alcohol instead of like oxygen. It really is pretty wild. And so I think I don't know if that's law or just their internal policy that, people can't be in there. I think it's even less than 30 minutes.
It might be like
15, 20 minutes at a time. Yeah, but it's pretty crazy.
Gives whole new meaning to a contact buzz, I suppose.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like it's like the nuclear fallout, like your body just disintegrates because the wave of alcohol just comes over you.
But in a good way, a good nuclear.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
you disintegrate in a great way. So I have to say, it's always good to have you guys. We want to do something a little bit different. Are you guys game for this?
How different?
depending
are
on
you
what it
talking?
is.
So I want to know which one of you knows the other one better. And I don't know if you've ever watched the TV show The Newlywed Game.
Oh,
But
I've got every episode recorded. I'm glad you asked.
Yeah,
I know, right?
TiVo,
Everybody
duh.
does.
Yeah.
So
No,
what
I'm
I want to
talking
do
my
here,
VHS catalog behind my bottles over here.
well, it's on Game Show Network constantly, right? And it goes there's different hosts all the time. But tonight's hosts are me and Zeke. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask a question, then Zeke's going to ask a question. We're going to ask 5 questions to Charlie first. And Charlie is going to write down the answer on a piece of paper. And then Andy is going to have to guess what Charlie's answer is. We will
Right.
keep a running track of this. And then at the end, we're going to ask 5 questions to Andy. And then Charlie's going to have to guess. Are you guys game for this?
Yeah.
Wait a second. Like I said, I've had a few cocktails.
You button up to me.
Wait, let me make sure I understand this. I'm gonna answer 5 questions about Andy.
No, you're going to understand. You'll understand when I ask the question to you, whether or not it's about you or Andy. But you're going to write down your answer on a piece of paper.
Okay. I've got paper.
Zeke,
And
you
a
have the
Sharpie.
questions too, right?
Yes. You just let me know which end you want me to kick off or punt or whatever on this.
So I'm going to ask the first one. You ask the second one. I ask the third one. You ask the fourth one. I ask the fifth one. Then you ask the first one to Andy.
I can follow this,
If it
I
all
think.
goes well, we're each going to ask 5.
If.
So the first question here is going to be for Charlie. And I would say, Mr. Charlie Nelson, who is more organized, you or your brother Andy? And Andy, let's just wait until Charlie says he's ready.
Mm-hmm.
And when he says he's ready,
I'm ready.
We'll see.
I don't want to be that guy or anything, John, but this is way too easy if this is question number 1.
We have to start off small and go
Okay.
into deeper. I mean, I wanted to use more Newlywed Game questions. And Zeke, I mean, be honest here. I wanted to say, like, when was the last time you got in a fight? And Zeke's like, you never know what's going to happen when you ask that question. So I got nixed on that.
I shot down anything that might seem negative.
And then, I mean, the other Newlywed questions were like, when was the last time you made whoopee? And like, you two aren't going to be able to answer that one.
That'd be weird.
Just a little bit. So Andy, you ready to guess? Who's more organized, you or your brother?
Me. I'm way more organized.
All right. He said Andy.
Duh.
Zeke, you ready for question number 2?
All right. So this will probably be more of a childhood memory, I'm going to assume. If you could be any superhero, who would it be?
And this is okay. So I'm supposed to guess what Charlie would
Yeah.
say.
What superhero Charlie wishes he could be?
God, man. So I will say this. Like, for example, I don't know if Charlie's much more of a superhero guy than I am. I don't think so. But like, I didn't even know Aquaman existed until I think like 5 or 6, 7, 8 years ago. Like, I didn't even grow up on that. So I don't know.
Well, you got to take a guess.
I mean, there's
bruh.
Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Spider-Man. No, this is. Oh, you don't have to write down. You could just say what you think you got.
Superman.
Charlie, what'd you put?
Wait, I was supposed to write something down? I was going to say Superman.
Okay.
He got it. He got it.
We're off to an excellent start.
He's up 2-0. So
No,
Hit
I mean,
the
that
ground
was,
running
that was
here.
that was too obvious. Like, I don't know. So
There's nothing
Num-
obvious
num-
about that. We never grew up watching superheroes.
number 2 would have been Batman, though. But it depends on which Batman.
Do you know what the best part about that
For
is?
number 2.
If you'd ask for a number 1 and a number 2, I swear to God, I would have put Superman and Batman.
that's crazy.
So
that you
should I
guys are
get-
on the same page?
Should I get a 1.5 for that one?
Maybe.
No.
All right, number 3. Charlie, what was your first car? So Andy, you're gonna guess this, but Charlie's gonna write it down. Charlie, what was your first car? Tell me when you have it.
Can we have a musical interlude?
So Andy's got to get like, Andy's got to get all of these things right. It has to be very specific.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
You said first car, right?
Yes, first car.
All right.
This is taking. I apologize to the
Okay.
other guests. This is
Okay,
taking
okay.
a little bit long.
Yeah. Dead air, the king of dead air.
Okay. I got it.
So
All right.
now I have to say what he got, right?
Yes.
Okay. 1983 Almond turbo diesel Mercedes 300D.
What was its what did people call it? What was its pseudonym?
Diesel Chuck?
No.
That was your bowling name. I don't know what the pseudonym was. The Hot Box. Well, you just put even 1980s? I knew it was an
It was
83.
83. It was
Exactly 83. Oh, man.
Okay, whatever.
All right. I don't know. Somebody says I smell like beef and cheese.
That's a compliment where I come from.
And then Eric Smith says pants are overrated. I agree with Eric. But
Hey, Kyle, are you a cousin? Long lost cousin Kyle?
maybe I did. Now, when I was talking about this with people in your circle, what I really wanted to do was have the third Nelson brother come on and have you two try to guess things about him, since nobody gets to see him. And I was like, that might be another episode down the line. But
Yeah, we can do that.
For Sean?
but just have like the mystery Nelson brother.
You know, it would be even better to have the fourth Nelson brother, who actually does exist, but he doesn't live here or work for or at the distillery, so it might not be as, what everyone would think.
We'll think about it. But Zeke, you have the next question. It is number 4.
Next on the list here is if you could do anything else besides own a distillery, what would it be?
So
Andy has to write this down.
No,
and I-
Charlie, you are writing this down, and Andy is guessing it.
wait,
So
this
we
is
are still on
flipping.
you.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what?
No, Zeke and I are flipping who asks. We have asked 5
Oh, but the
questions to
whole
Charlie,
thing-
and then we're going to move to you, Andy. So we are on question 4 for
Okay.
Charlie.
Okay.
Okay.
And Andy is 2-1 because he did not get the hot box.
That's a
Yeah.
bunch of malarkey.
We won't say why it was called the hot box.
I think we could all guess.
It was because
Lots of
actually, I
late
will
night
say it's
crystals.
because the AC didn't work.
All right, so the question is to Charlie: if he could do anything other than own a distillery, what would it be? I can't wait to hear when he says like dolphin trainer.
Okay.
All right. Am I good to talk now? Is it my...
Yes. Guess what he would do.
Okay, I don't know if he would have put these exact 2 words together, but I'm going to say travel blogger. And let me explain, because he would want to travel and visit different cultures and somehow do that for a living. And I think a travel blogger are the only two words I could say that would make sense to describe it. And world traveler / travel writer. There we go.
All right, Zeke, what do you
God,
think? Did
I'm
you give
too
that to him?
obvious.
I mean, for a very abstract question, that was pretty specific. I think go. I mean, you can't get much closer than that.
I think we all know the answer to that. All right, question number 5, Charlie. This is you writing it down, and Andy is going to answer it. What is the one thing that Andy does at work that annoys the hell out of you?
Oh God. I got to be honest. I think there are a lot of things. So I've got a few choices here. You ready, Charlie? You done?
Yeah.
I'm going to, oh God, how do I even describe this? I'm going to say, talks, like if I give a tour, I go into too much detail when someone asks a quick and simple question. I'm obviously right. Everything. All right, good enough.
All right, that is a great answer. So you went 3 and 2. Zeke, you are
3
asking.
and 2. I was at least 4 and 1, if not 5 and 0.
Yeah, I thought that was 4 and 1.
Oh, he
for
missed
sure.
the hot box.
Well,
That was one. There was one detail out of like 6 of that question.
Yeah, that was only one question to begin with. Edward,
And I also got the
you know
year.
it.
I got the specific year of the
Oh,
car
I'm just giving
when
him
Charlie
hell.
didn't even know.
I'm giving him hell. He's 4 and 1.
Oh,
So now it's Charlie's turn. We're asking the questions to Andy, and Charlie has to get this right. So we're going to pick up the pace a little bit because we are running long.
Yeah.
So Zeke,
do it.
you go first. What is the first question for Andy?
if you
Remember,
could be,
Andy is writing, Charlie is guessing.
if you could be any breed of dog, what would it be?
Oh, this is easy. Charlie's gonna get this one too. All right, I'm ready.
I mean, golden retriever, but maybe more like a Clyde version of a golden retriever.
That's a golden retriever. That's right. Shout
All right,
out to my boy
question
Clyde.
number 2. Charlie
All right.
can fix blank like a boss, but when it comes to blank, he really should call someone else.
Oh God. Okay.
You're writing it down.
Can fix blank, but when it comes to blank, he should call someone else.
Yeah, so what can't he
okay.
fix? Or what can he fix, and then what can't he fix?
I think this can be a good opportunity for Mad Libs.
This would. I would love to do that.
Yeah,
Is this a 2-point question or just one?
It's 2. It's a 2-part. But when it comes to okay, here we go. I just put a hyphen in something that does not need a hyphen. All right, go for it, Charlie. Take a guess.
I'd say like relationship or marketing sort of stuff. And then when it comes to distilling or production, anything, then then I'm shit out of luck.
That's pretty close. I would say number 1, interpersonal drama. And I honestly am not even talking about between us. I just mean Charlie's a people person and he can mediate with the best of them. And when it comes to whiskey making, so I think you're right. I think you're
All right,
right.
he is 2 for 2. Now, Zeke, admittedly, I messed up the next question. So let me ask the next question, and then you will ask the last 2.
it was your turn anyway, bud.
Oh, it was? So, Andy, what is the first whiskey that you ever drank?
Okay.
Don't say it. You write it down, Andy.
I know. There's easy, pal. The first whiskey that I ever drank. All right.
And I would just say, anybody who's watching, somebody please share this in the Dad's Drinking Bourbon group, because my computer's giving me all sorts of hell.
All right, I'm ready.
This is tough, but maybe Famous Grouse Scotch. Oh,
You blew it. Yes.
Wah,
Now
wah.
we're at
'Cause
worst, we're tied.
Dad used to drink Famous Grouse Scotch. Like after work, he would have a Famous Grouse just on the rocks or whatever.
You know, I don't think that's not even what I was thinking about. I was thinking of something not when I was like 9 years old. But anyway, okay.
Was it Jim
Okay,
Beam
next
Black?
question. No,
Whatever.
No, straight up Jim Beam white label.
Okay.
All right,
All right.
Zeke.
Next one. What is your favorite type of pizza?
His eyes lit up.
All right. You ready for this? I have it's a two-parter. Go for it.
I mean,
Does he have to get everything right, including the nickname?
I'm not going to say that.
so
Like he tried to.
So, like, I would say like maybe a Hawaiian pizza, but slash a pizza that is like a good luck pizza for when he's watching Titans games, where it's like pepperoni, jalapeno, pineapple, onion, mushroom, and something like that.
So you started that with, I would say like blah, 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 blah. Is that your final answer?
I guess so. Yeah. Zeus at 5, which is basically a Hawaiian. Or no, it's not. Is
It's
it?
not basically. It's Zeus from 5 Points Pizza. It's the best pizza in the world.
Fuck. I mean,
All right, we don't
dang.
even need to ask the last question.
Because I win. I win.
This is a bunch
No,
of
but let's do it.
I'm a
Let's
lark.
just do it.
Oh, we're gonna do it anyway. Zeke, you have the last question. You have the honors.
If you're on a desert island and can only have one album, which one is it?
Ooh.
Andy
That's a
would
great
definitely know
question.
this about me.
I honestly don't know if I know this about myself. So it's going to be a tough one. Ooh, I
Edward-
do know it.
Edwards went
The comments
really,
are coming
really
in
deep
saying
on
no
that.
pineapple on the pizza.
Yeah, that's kind of a polarizing topping, isn't it? Pineapple.
I think so. I
Yeah.
mean, as a fat guy, I go for the meat. I mean, I really like prosciutto and pepperoni.
Hey guys,
Hamburg.
I'm trying to concentrate here, so could you keep it down if you don't mind?
Well, we're just trying to not have dead air.
All
By the
right.
way, does the Zeus at 5 Points Pizza, does it have pineapple on it?
No, it does not. Although I am a huge proponent, big fan of pineapple on pizza.
Oh man, Folk in East Nashville has fucking killer pineapple. But it's like thinly sliced pineapples on there. Anyway, I
All
love
right.
jalapenos too.
What's my desert island album, Charlie? You actually might get this. Not to give you too many hints, but you already lost, so it doesn't really matter anyway.
In sync, no strings attached.
I was gonna say Hanson Mbop.
Obviously, that's not even the name of the album. It's just the single from the album.
Okay, dang it.
I don't know that to be
Can you
true.
give me like a
If I give you a hint, you're going to know it immediately. How's that for a
like
hint?
some Rush album or something?
No. Rush is I love Rush, but like I can't listen to that more than twice in a row.
I have no idea.
You're obviously you.
Yeah, actually, if
Love
I had
corn
thought a
dog.
little longer, I probably could have gotten that. Damn.
Yeah. Well, sorry.
Well,
2 and 3. You're 2 and 3, Charlie.
we
Right?
went a complete segment over because we love talking to you guys so much. But Andy
No,
is the winner.
Sorry, guys.
We will get
Yeah.
you a belt, and we'll just say cheers. You can find
Hey.
them. You can find you guys over at NGBD Distillery on Instagram.com or greenbrierdistillery.com. You guys have anything else you want to plug besides your Tennessee whiskey and your Belmead bourbon?
I mean, that's the best thing to plug right there. Drink more Tennessee whiskey. Nelson's Greenbrier Tennessee whiskey, of course.
Well, cheers. Mike Hines is there with Zeke saying hi.
Howdy. What's
But-
happening? Hey, just keep on making it do what it do. Thanks for having us on. Appreciate y'all.
Cheers. Go enjoy the rest of your Friday night, boys.
Cheers. Hey,
Adios.
thank you.
All right, Zeke.
Yo,
We are now joined by another good friend of ours, and that is Michael Powell from Bardstown Bourbon Company. And we are just all kind of trying to figure out different ways to reach out to people during this time. You know, that's why Michael is on, and that's why Michael is the executive creative director for Bardstown Bourbon Company. And Michael, a lot of people hear that title and they don't know what the hell it means. So tell everybody what it is you do.
Yeah. So, two things. First of all, the Hanson album is called Bop. Bop, like that was the title track, was also the lead single. That doesn't happen often.
Is this where we spill the beans and tell everybody that we did college radio together at UK? Because
we might as well, because I'm a huge music nerd. Because I was getting ready to go into talking about how like Bad Company had a song called Bad Company on their self-titled record called Bad Company. So yeah,
I mean, we
might as
could
well.
really go down a rabbit hole here, but yes, I was fighting back everything to say like, no, you're wrong. The album is Bop.
Now we'll go into that later, but a creative director basically means that I am in charge of the visual identity and the voice of Bardstown Bourbon Company. So I do all the videos that you see, the photography, design, a lot of the copywriting, a lot of the social media, and the outreach there around it. I keep very busy on all fronts, so that's what that means.
And I do have to say that there has been a huge difference. I mean, anybody who has been watching the Bardstown Bourbon Company Instagram or Facebook, all that other stuff, there has been a huge difference as to pre-Michael Powell and post-Michael Powell. And you're doing aerial videos. You're bringing the drone out. You're putting letters and words up on the screen like they weren't before, and actually doing like little mini commercials, if you will, on there on Instagram. And I've seen a huge change in just the interaction that people have had with Bardstown Bourbon Company since you got there, and great job, I'll just say.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it really comes down to we're a new brand, so a lot of it is tightening the team, tightening our processes, figuring out what works and what doesn't, and being really, really receptive to our audience, while also trying to come up with new and innovative ways to garner the audience and the opportunities we have digitally.
And our friend Mike just said he received some sample from Sean McBride today. He's a huge fan of Bardstown Bourbon Company.
Yes,
Wearing one of your hats.
our
Right.
sales guys are awesome, and they have really taken they've taken the best of a bad situation right now with COVID, and really leveraged that to build relationships and just keep very busy. Like there are no idle hands on that side for sure.
No, and speaking of all of that, all the stuff that's going on with COVID, I mean, you guys are now thinking of different ways to reach out to people because you obviously can't get everybody in the distillery together. You know, how's that like for a creative director when you're trying, you know, your whole job is to get people at the distillery and you're not able to get people at the distillery physically, you have to find out ways to reach out to them virtually. How's that been and what have you been doing?
Yeah, so you have to be very nimble and creative. And luckily, there's a great team around me. And very shortly after we saw the writing on the wall in terms of, okay, this is going to be a serious thing that will be lasting for who knows how long, we got together and started ideating really quickly. So the first thing we did was right after we had the feeling that the governor was going to do a lockdown on non-essential businesses, and that is tours and restaurants and whatnot. The distillery is still up and running, but as far as the public-facing side, that is shut down. We did a grueling production day. We just knocked out so much content for produced video. We did like basically morning to night, and I've been going through that and editing it and creating social media content that we can use for now and for the future. So we've been very busy with that. We also just launched our virtual tours. So if you go to the website, just like you would book an actual in-person tour, you can book a virtual tour and it's free. And we do it regularly scheduled. So you can jump on the website, find a time that works for you. You jump on Zoom and you're with other people doing a live tour through Zoom. And you can ask questions and you're getting the immersive distillery experience. Another thing we're doing is live tastings. So our VP of Hospitality, Dan Calloway, you all might know him as Danny Bardstown, has been very busy working with different reps and different influencers and different content creators to do these live virtual tastings on various social media platforms. And I'll make sure that I provide you a list for your viewers to check out everything we have coming up because it's a lot. I should probably reveal the one we're really excited about is on May 13th. The director of the Louisville Orchestra, Teddy Abrams, who you all might be familiar with because the Lift Up Louisville news story hit last week where My Morning Jacket and Bonnie Prince Billy and a bunch of Louisville musicians did this really, really cool, kind of uplifting, like morale building song for the city. And so he's going to be doing a tasting with us and talking about how something that's storied like the Louisville Orchestra and something that's storied like Kentucky Bourbon, how we're trying to innovate in this kind of new unprecedented time when we're completely digital. That's a big thing where that is in line with a number of really interesting virtual programs we're doing right now.
And that's really cool thing. What's even better is that Uncle Buck thinks that sounds amazing.
Yeah. And then, of course, we've got the distillery highlights that we're doing on social media. So we want to make sure that people know the folks who are keeping the distillery running. Because, while I'm fortunate enough to work remote and a lot of us can do that, you still have to run that facility. And there are folks doing that. And we're doing it with the utmost safety precautions. And we want to highlight all the folks that are back there. So you'll see that on our social media. And we're also doing the world's greatest whiskey taster contest. World's top whiskey taster.
That's a whole thing where people can win like 20 grand and then you're going to send them to like every single top whiskey event in the country, right?
Sending them to a few. We can't send all folks to all of them, but the world's top whiskey taster is a program that we launched. We'd been planning it for a while, but we sort of fast tracked it when we realized that everyone was going to be hanging out at home. And it's like, well, that's a great time to enter the contest because it's a video-based contest where you can submit a short video and explain why you want to be a part of this program. And it involves a cash prize. It involves traveling to whiskey festivals, and you also get to do a custom blend with our master distiller, Steve Nally.
So I would tell people to look out for that. In closing, because we are running a little bit late, Michael, and I'm sorry.
No worries.
I would just say that we also just, both of us teamed up, Dad's Drinking Bourbon and Bardstown Bourbon Company today. There was no money to exchange hands. This is just something we all want to do because it's fun. And we want to see before the end of May, before May 22nd, go on Instagram, tag Bardstown Bourbon Company and Dad's Drinking Bourbon together. Use hashtag deck pour, but tag both of us in there. Michael and I and a few other people and Zeke, we're going to look at all these pictures, pick our favorites, and then the winner's probably going to get a little prize pack from the both of us, right?
That's right. Yeah. Submit by midnight on Friday, May 22nd. We're going to go through the photos and we'll select, I don't know, a few. we haven't decided how many. Depends on how many great photos we get. But, you know, as you can see, I'm on my deck. I'm enjoying a deck pour here. I've got the Bardstown Bourbon Pfeiffer Pavitt Reserve, almost the last of my bottle. That just locked in the best in class for finished bourbon at the World Spirits Competition. But submit your photo, and we're going to go through and find the ones that are really cool and interesting, and we'll send you a great prize pack.
Perfect. Well, Michael, thank you so much. It's always a good time to have you on. We'll have you on again.
See ya.
And we'll talk to you here soon.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers. Zeke, we're moving through. You look like you should be in the Australian outback right now. A lot of people are commenting on it. And because of that, what I want to do is bring up our friend who is a mountain man who goes with your outback man. And that is our friend, Nate from Whiskey with a View. Nate, how are you?
I'm just dandy right now.
Where are you right now, by the way?
In Charleston, South Carolina. It's myself, and we got, of course, Sky's here as well. Right, Sky? Yeah, she's hanging out in her seat.
Sky is your awesome dog.
Sky's the star of the show, let's be real.
A lot of people may know you. You know, you have a very, very, very popular Instagram account, Whiskey with a View, where you take amazing photos of whiskey. Just, I mean, you'll hike to the top of a mountain and take an awesome photo. You'll go anywhere, do anything. You know, you had that account. That account allowed you to kind of go into working for brands for a while, and you did that, but then you gave it all up. Tell everybody why you gave it up and what this little project is that you're doing.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've spent 7 years in the whiskey industry. I absolutely love it. I love the brands I've worked for. But my dream has always been to be my own boss and do what I love. And what I love to do is hike up mountains and drink whiskey and photograph the experience. So I decided to leave my position with a company, sold all of my things, gave up my house, and ended up buying a van. And now I'm just road tripping all over the country doing what I love, which is, you know, living frugally and forsaking the basic comforts of what most people would consider comforts, and traveling, meeting people, taking pictures. And I'm going to do that for the foreseeable future. And I'm very excited that it's really starting to kick off. I mean, COVID made it a lot more complicated than I wanted, but fortunately with what I do, I'm social distancing almost all the time. So I can pick up a good amount of food and put it in my van for a week, and I don't have to see anyone. I can just be in the mountains or camping or wherever I'd like to be. But it's like I said, it threw me a bit of a curveball, but I'm a stubborn bastard, and I figured out a way to make it work.
And you actually got this sponsored. I mean, you went so far as to get your whole trip sponsored. You have people backing you, people wanting you to take photos, places, right? I mean, this is a pretty big thing that, you know, I said your little project, but it's really a big project, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a passion project that I've worked towards for many years. And I've been fortunate enough to bring on some really awesome sponsors, everything from various whiskey brands to Beard Oil Company, 27 Beard Co., BK Classic Cocktails, which they make cocktails basically to go pre-made, pre-batched, to even a coffee brand where I release my own coffee to help support the trip. So yeah, I mean, I was initially hoping to get some of the bigger brand names that I've worked with over the years to help me out. And just things happen, and now I've had to just bring together a lot of smaller, lesser known brands, which for me, I really enjoy the fact that, yeah, I'm not going to make much money at all on this, if really save any, but I'm working with brands that might not have a voice, or might have gotten, they might not be as large as, say, a bigger bourbon or whiskey company that everyone knows the name of. So I'm actually super pleased with the way it turned out, even though initially I was a bit upset because I wanted to make a lot of money would be nice, but at the same time, I've realized over the years, and especially over the past few months of putting this together, that at the end of the day, the money part doesn't really matter to me. It's about the experience and the travel, and being able to do whatever I want on my terms, and just meet and hang out with people. So I think at the end of the day, it's been a blessing to realize that I shouldn't have been focusing on money. This project has never been about money. This project is about the project itself. And honestly, the hardships and the scraping by, and maybe my bank gets mad at me a little bit, it's worth it because it makes me appreciate those things so much more.
I'm a little bit jealous, but let's get to it. I mean, this is the place that you are living for the next year. So take us around your digs. Let's see this van here.
Sure. So I bought it took me a long time to find, thanks to the COVID crisis, to find the vehicle I wanted. I really wanted a van, but it was very difficult to find that. So I ended up looking into RVs, into trailers, into buying a van and converting it myself. But I was fortunate enough one day to stumble upon a van that already has been created for cross-country travel. And then I just gutted the entire thing and redid it myself with the help of my family and friends. So you're looking at the Whiskey with a View van. So we redid everything. I wanted a wood-based floor. We redid all the painting. It was all covered in rug and like faux wood. But
oh man,
now
you got hardwood floors in there?
Well, it's like a faux wood type thing. It's waterproof because that's what I need. But yeah, no, that was all carpeting, and now it's wood floors. It's great for this one too, since she sheds all the time. So it's a lot easier to clean up after her. And then we redid everything white.
And you have a whole kitchen in there, and
Yep.
a nice bed. And is it what size bed is that?
So it's an RV queen, so it's shorter. It's only 74 inches rather than 80. But normal queen size. I'm building out a shelf over on that side. But I mean, it's comfortable. Putting the curtains, doors just open up in the morning. I can just drink my coffee and look out whatever view I'm at. Air conditioning up there, and underneath is just a whole ton of storage. So I fit everything. All my clothes basically fit in this. I can fit all of my foodstuffs and all this. And there is whiskey, of course, stashed throughout. Everything from underneath the chair that Sky's on. There are bottles all lined up in there to what was a bathroom that I converted into more of a whiskey closet that's going to continue to be built out. But it's basically, if you're a whiskey drinker and a hiker, this is a dream come true.
Well, I might need that van after you, but you went this week. You're in Charleston right now. Where were you before Charleston?
Before Charleston, I was in North Carolina, up in the mountains, up by the Smokies all this past week. Unfortunately, the Smoky Mountains, much as I love them, are closed. But there are a couple cool state forests that I could visit and hike in. So I was up there, and then one day, by one day I mean 2 days ago, I decided I wanted to be by a beach. And I have friends down here in Charleston, and they have access to a private beach. So I got to just go hang out and drink whiskey on a beach for a while. And then from here, I'm heading back up to Tennessee to finish up the van, and then I'll be going around Georgia, Florida, and then working my way across the South into Texas, and then up to the Midwest, which is where I'm super excited, given the hiking and mountains up there.
Well, let's share a pour when you get back to Tennessee, and I'll say, let's check in with you as you're going through your journey. I know that Dad's Drinking Bourbon doesn't have enough money to sponsor you, but we will gladly, check you out along the way.
I like just hanging out with you and chatting with you. And I'm sad we couldn't. I'm sure if the listeners didn't know, we were actually planning on doing this from the van. We wanted to do the first ever podcast from the van together, which would be awesome. But obviously, with everything going on and restrictions and social distancing, that wasn't to be. But if this had worked out perfectly, we would actually have been doing this from the van tonight, which would have been really, really cool. And hey, in the future, I'm going to be around, so I'd love to still do it from here.
I know we will love to see you again, and we'd love to still do the podcast from the van. I don't know if you, me, and Zeke could all fit in that thing together.
Yeah, we can fit, man. I can take that bed apart and make it into benches. I literally made it so it's flexible.
Well, we'll make sure to do that, and congrats and good luck with the whole journey, and we can't wait to see what else happens.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. It's always a pleasure.
Hey, cheers. Thank you.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Zeke, you're on mute. How's it going, buddy?
I mean, I didn't want there's a pretty good dice game going on behind me. I didn't want to distract anyone.
No, I appreciate that. Just checking in on you. How you doing? Because people think you're ready to, they want to know how big your booney knife is.
I actually have a one of those. I got one when I was in the Scouts when I was probably 12 or 13. Had like a big leather sheath or whatever he calls things. I don't remember. Like you could tie it onto your leg.
No, that's exactly what it is.
I had all that, buds. Don't you worry about me.
Well, Zeke, we're going to do something. I feel bad. He's been waiting very, very, very patiently. And we're going to do something a little bit different, something we haven't done previously. And I still give us credit for keeping it under an hour when all is said and done. But we're going to take a step back here. We actually have a comedian who's going to come on this show to close it out. We have our friend Drew Harrison. He's been doing awesome stuff. He hosts drive-through reviews with Drew on YouTube. He has these he has on Instagram and on his website, drewharrisoncomedy.com. He's been doing crazy funny like Sports Center spoof commercials. And Drew, thank you so much for taking the time. What I'm going to do is say hi first, and then we're going to shut up and let you do your thing.
All right. Well, I appreciate you having having me on, man. This is the state of comedy right now, behind the computer screen. So I appreciate the opportunity to maybe get my comedy out there to some people that haven't seen it before. So thank you.
We love it, and the floor is yours, my friend.
All right. Well, thank you, man. With this quarantine, we've all been hanging out at the house. I know I've been on social media way too much, and it's really making you see the ads that Facebook gears to you. Like I got an ad. Me and my wife were talking about the possibility of it, but we got an ad for a blanket fort starter kit. So that's in the mail. We're ready for that. But that made us realize, it's weird that Facebook has these things that can hear you talk about blanket forts and then put ads for blanket forts so you see them. But they still can't figure out that I got divorced 3 years ago and stopped putting our wedding as memories, So it'd be nice if they could do that. Someone told me there's a setting for it, but I'm in too deep with Facebook. I'm not getting deeper with that. But the good thing about it being quarantined, I do have a nice balcony on my apartment. We got a nice view. We got a beautiful water tower in the distance. That also got me thinking that I am 34, about to be 35. And have no idea how water towers work. Is that all of our water? Is it in case of emergency water? Did we stop using them 40 years ago, but all the towns are like, it's got our name on it. I don't know. I Googled it. Google's like, shit, dude. I don't know. So if anyone in the audience has any info on water towers, I would appreciate the feedback. But ladies, this next one's for you. It's more of a PSA than a joke. After all this, if you rode out the quarantine solo or single, or like a lot of you are tired of the person you did ride it out with, get yourself a big guy after all this. Because no guy understands women 100%, but big guys understand a little bit more than average. We're always worried our butt cracks hanging out like you guys do. One of our boobs is bigger than the other one since we got them. We have a good side in pictures. Like if you want to see a conflicted man, check out a big guy in a group photo situation. He is trying to find what hides that chin the best. That's why beards were the best. It hides it all. But thank you guys so much. That's all I prepared for you tonight. I appreciate y'all listening and tuning in. And thank you guys for this opportunity.
Well, Drew, I'll just say, I appreciate what you said about the big guy, but I would say that, the big guy, as a fellow big guy, we're givers.
Right.
That's where you got to go first, right? It's not even just that we have our butt crack hanging out, which I do, but like we're givers. We're gonna go the extra mile.
We're like a walking pillow,
We are. We're very comfortable to cuddle with.
Yeah.
But I want to remind everybody, go to drewharrisoncomedy.com. You have a couple shows that you hopefully are going to get to do this summer. Fingers crossed.
Got some nice festivals coming up that I would really like to go to. So I hope this is over pretty soon.
Well, Drew, hopefully we get to come back and see you again. Yeah. And thank you so much for coming on. This has been really cool to have somebody close our show for us.
Nice. Thank you guys so much again for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Cheers. Go to drewharrisoncomedy.com. Zeke, this has been super interesting. It's been a little bit different for us. It's I feel like this one moved a little bit better than last week's did. We had a great time last week, but we talked to the guys for a while. This had a little bit more coming at you at one time. And Zeke is got nothing.
You didn't ask me a question. You made a statement.
Well, I didn't know if you had a comment back to that.
Oh, I'm just about to go wreck the rest of this Blanton Silver with Mr. Blanton's Mike Hines.
Well, I hope it's left facing, and I would just say everybody check out dryduck.com. Use code bourbon15 for 15% off your purchase. We thank you, Dry Duck, for sponsoring this. And for the people that are still on, I am just going to say, because I wanted to see who was going to stay on to the very end. Anybody who stayed on to the very end, for us, you have the chance to win a $100 electronic gift card to dryduck.com, because that's what we do. That's why you always have to stay on till the end. You never know what is going to happen. And I'm going to say right now, if you can tell me the city that Dry Duck is based out of, the city that Dry Duck is based out of, and I will give you a hint. It is a city that the same name, or the city actually touches two states. One city touches two states at the same time. And if you can put it in the comments right now, you will win a $100 gift card to dryduck.com. And let's see. I'm like playing Jeopardy.
You, say this is X posted.
What? No, this is cross posted on Facebook. And no, Salt Lake City is not in two different states. Somebody said Salt Lake City. It's one city that is in two states at the same time. It is in America, one city in two states at the same time. Overland Park. All right. So Chris, Urban Bourbonist, please reach out to me. I will make sure. The answer was Kansas City. So go ahead and check out dryduck.com. Go ahead and check out our podcast, Dad's Drinking Bourbon, wherever you download your podcast. Find us on Facebook at Dad's Drinking Bourbon, Twitter at Bourbon Dads, Instagram at Dad's Drinking Bourbon. Zeke, where else can the folks find us?
Music City, USA, playing a dice game.
Cheers.